wanted to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity today to walk you through Velixo, which is an Excel-based reporting tool that integrates with Acumatica. The structure of the presentation today is going to be fairly straightforward. For the first couple of slides, I'll walk everyone through really the history of Velixo on how we got started. After that, we'll spend the next couple of slides where I'll go into detail with some of the functions you'll have access to. And really for the main crux of the 30 minutes today, I'll walk you through the installation, a trial balance, and some of the reporting tools that you'll have access to. And we'll leave some time at the end in case you have questions, but please feel free to stop me at any point. I want to keep this in open form as much as possible. Started. I know I was already introduced, but I'm the channel sales manager here at Velixo. Our founder, Gabriel Michaud, he's actually been in the ERP space for over 20 years. He started his first ERP business at just 17 years old. I can't say I started my first business at 17 years old. But fast forwarding to 2009, he became the first reseller partner with Acumatica in Canada. And then upon selling his business in 2013, he wanted to understand a little bit more in granularity of what Acumatica had to offer. And in 2017, really, that's when Velixo has been formed. So in just over 4 years, we've actually grown from 0 customers to over 670 customers around the world. And I just want to mention that all the customers that we work with are Acumatica based. So this software is only for Acumatica users. You'll see from the map below that we are in many countries. I'd say the majority of our folks are in the US, Australia, Southeast Asia, and then Canada, where Gabriel and I are situated. I'm not going to go too deep into the history of Velixo, but really how it got started was over 20 years ago. Gabriel had customers who were using ERP networks, and they would talk to him about their issues with extracting their data and being able to manipulate it in the way that they saw fit for their own use. So at that point, he said, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's work within an ecosystem where folks are already familiar with, and that's really how Velixo had come to form. Now, what everyone's going to see once we download and install Velixo is that number one, there's going to be a new ribbon toolbar called Acumatica within Excel that's going to be installed. And on top of that, we've added 70 functions specifically for GL, projects, and generic inquiries. Last item I did want to mention on this slide is that all the data that you will see today is in real time and it is refreshable. Now, after the call, if you want to take a look at the Acumatica marketplace just to see some of the reviews that the customers have provided, please go ahead. We're very proud that we are the #1 rated solution in the marketplace. And hopefully, if your team does move with Velixo and you have a good experience, we'd love for your team to write another review. That'd be fantastic for us. One of the pillars, really, of our business was to create the most user-friendly experiences possible. The first thing that everyone's going to see is, number one, the installation process is going to take 30 seconds to a minute. After that's complete, you're really going to be off and running. On top of that, we have an unlimited user model. So if you're going to need to have 5, 6, 7 individuals to utilize Velixo, you don't have to worry about additional fees because you can have as many as you want. One item I did want to mention is that we do mirror the same credentials and the same restrictions that each individual has in Acumatica when they're trying to use Velixo. So if they don't have access to specific module within Acumatica, it's going to apply as well once they're trying to use that with Velixo. This is the last slide before I go into the demo itself. This is just a sample of some of the organizations that we work with right now. I wanted to emphasize Acumatica just for a moment, as they themselves have seen such value in our financial software that they've purchased it for their own financial use. But we'll start off on a new worksheet, and then we can get started. So the first thing that everyone's going to see here, once we open up Excel, is the Acumatica ribbon up top. Once you click on that, you're going to see a drop down with features that you'll have access to. So the refresh all, connection manager, drill down, report distribution, and write back. The first thing that we're going to want to do is connect Acumatica to Excel. At this point, all you're going to do is click on connection manager, and then you're going to click on add connection. And at this point, you'll fill out the appropriate information. What's great about this So the username and the passcode that you will be using with Acumatica will be the same one that you'll be using to log into Velixo. We know we have enough usernames and passcodes as is already. I'd suggest to remember your credentials in the future so you don't have to fill in all the appropriate fields. And we also do support SSO. Perfect. So we'll see that the cloud is in green, which means that we are connected. The first thing I'll do right now is just a simple trial balance, just to show you a couple of the features before we get a little bit further in depth. Now, first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to look for our GL accounts. At this point, you can go a fairly manual route where you're putting in your GL accounts one by one. As opposed to doing that, you can just click on the Insert Chart of Account button that you see right here. Then it's going to ask you for your connection, so what we just connected to. And all you do is click on Insert. At that point, all your GL accounts will pre-populate. If I open the cell up, you're going to see that this is a dynamic function that we've created. So like I said, we have 70 functions that we've created. This is one of them. At this point, you can save your document, open it up, and then all you'll have to do the following time is click on Refresh All, and you'll see all your data update in real time. There's two different options. There's a smart refresh and a full refresh. The smart refresh will just add any GL accounts or remove GL accounts if they've been added or removed. Full refresh will refresh your entire sheet. Next item we're going to look for is the account name. At this point, I'll type equals account name. Once you do so, you're going to see a drop down of what's going to be asked for you to obtain the account name. So it's going to ask for the connection to that demo, and then all we're going to do is take the account name. Last thing we're going to look for is the account ending balance. I'll put a few additional parameters here. So it's ledger. Okay. So at this point, you can go the same route that you previously went, where we're going to type equals ending account balance. But if you're familiar with Excel already, all you'll do is click on the insert button, and then you'll see within the category section that there are 7 new categories that have been installed. So generic inquiries, audit, projects, and general ledger, to name a few. When you click on general ledger, all we're going to do is take the account ending balance. At this point, you'll just fill out the appropriate fields. And period. At this point, we are done. But before I click on OK, please note the help on this function button. Once you click on that, you're actually going to be pushed towards our support page where we have assistance with this function, but every single function within Velixo. So you'll see here that we'll provide the description, the parameters, but we also have different examples which are a little bit different than what I'm showing you today. We just want to provide you with enough information to show you really what is possible. On our support page, we have an abundant amount of resources that you'll have at your disposal, one of them being example reports and tutorials. We've created an abundant amount of canned reports that you'll have access to. I'm going to be walking you through the P&L trial balance in the next little bit, but you'll see here you can use these as you so choose. We have a lot of customers who like using our reports. We have other customers who prefer using their own template. We just like to make it available on our website. We have getting started videos. So you'll see some of the things I'm showing you today, such as installing Velixo. There's going to be videos here to walk you through this step by step. Lastly, we have the Velixo function form. What you'll see here is we have assistance with every single function, like I previously said. So you'll see an example, you're going to see the syntax, and you're going to see the parameters for every single one of these. Now, once we're ready, all you'll do is click on OK. There we go. So at this point, you're able to, if you want to change the date range, and it updates automatically. You could take it a step further. Let's say we wanted to compare 1 year versus the previous year. And then you can even look, you can compare your actuals versus your budget, because the budget's part of the ledger as well. Once you input that, you're going to see it adjust as well in real time. Let's say we're looking for the variance at this point. just showing you here what's possible. Now at this point, for account mapping, we have a few additional functions that you'll have access to. The first one is, let's say we want to group specific accounts together. Say we want 10-100, 10-200, and then 10-300. All you'll do is put a semicolon and you'll copy the cells. At this point, if you're looking for ranges, let's say we're looking for 10-100 to 10-750. There you go. The last one is something called wildcard, and I'm not sure your team has seen this before. Let's say we're looking for any GL account with the number 1 in it. After that, all you'll do is put a question mark there. And let's take it a step further and let's say we don't want 10-200. There you go. So just showing you really what is possible with the simple trial balance here. So what I'll do now is I'll dig in right into our main sample pack report that I'll walk you all through today. And you'll see here this document that I'm walking you through. This is the P&L document that is available on our website, so you can use this if you so like. So we have a P&L, we have a trailing P&L, we have an income consolidator report, and you'll see a few additional reports that we have. So one of the first features that I really like to share with a lot of our users, it's a really exciting feature, is something that you see up top here called drill down. And what it allows you to do is click on any cell within your spreadsheet and go to the source transaction directly within Acumatica. So I'm going to take an example and we're going to use total operating expenses. Once you click on drill down, it might take a second or two, you'll see a new sheet that opens up and it's going to show you all the associated transactions, the financial period, the branches if you had additional branches, and then you'll see the associated balances on the right-hand side. But I want to show you how we are connected to Acumatica. So let's do that. So let's take this example right here. All you'll do at this point is click on View Transaction. And at this point, you're going to be pushed towards the ecosystem of Acumatica in the account detail section, so you can see the source invoice. And this is really good for reconciliation at the end of the month. So here, I'll just click on the reference number. And as long as you've inputted the actual original invoice, you'll be able to compare the original invoice to Acumatica. So we'll see here, hotel room for a night. Let's compare that back here, 201.50. And then all you'll have to do here is click on the source cell and it's going to show you exactly where it's coming from. So we'll see here that was from travel. So what I'll do is I'll show you the report distribution segment. Now you'll see here, once you click on new distribution list, there's going to be a new template that opens up. I filled out the template, so just to show you an example in real time. Zoom in a little bit. So first thing that you're going to see is the format. At this point, you can choose Excel, you can choose PDF. If you're going to send it to someone who will not have access to Velixo, just click on Excel, remove Velixo formulas. As I scroll to the right, you'll see the tab, so it's based on the below sheets you see here. If you're saving your reports right now to an online path like SharePoint, for instance, just put the folder path here. And then as you scroll to the right-hand side, you'll see a few additional variables here. So you can send the reports really in the body of an email if you'd like, and then you could take it a step further. So in your scenario here, you don't have branches, but you have different options of how you can pick and choose which individuals will receive which specific report. Now, for our sake, I'm just going to send the report out, and then we'll show you what these reports look like. And I wanted to mention is that the reports do not have to have Velixo associated functions to be able to send out. So if you have non-Velixo reports that you want to send out as well, you can send those out as well through here. I'll walk you all through the next feature. And you'll see up top here something called write back. So we have GL write back, budget write back, and project forecast write back. Typically with ERP platforms, it's all about extracting your data. And what you can do in this scenario here with Velixo is you'll be able to push back your budgets to Acumatica. You'll be able to push back your journal transactions even. And we've introduced something that is available now. It's called generic inquiry write back. So you'll be able to push back any inquiry that you have back to Acumatica. Now, I'll just show you an example that we've created. So you'll see here a template that we've created, and it's very similar. I'm not sure if you've seen it within Acumatica, but it's very similar to what Acumatica has. So you'll see a revenue and expense account, And then for our sake, we've just added 2 custom columns. At this point, we can update our forecast. Okay. Everything looks fine. And then at that point, all you'll do is click on Import Current Worksheet, and then your budget is going to be pushed back to Acumatica. You have the option to not release it, or you can release it right away. If you don't release it, you can just release it once you see it within Acumatica. I typically suggest to go this route for most of our customers. We have the same functionality that is available with journal transactions. So you'll see here, this is the template for the journal transaction, very similar. You'll just fill the appropriate fields out, and then you'll click on Import Current Worksheet, and it gets pushed back right away. I'll show you an example of a project-based report that we've created. And this also is available on our website, so it's not just the P&L document, so you'll have access to this as well. So this is a sample of a construction-based sample that we've created about 6 months ago. And you'll see here all the ongoing projects. You'll see all the ongoing sheets here, and it's being extracted from the sheets that you see below here. I wanted to show you an example of a project portfolio report. So this is just an example of all the existing projects for this specific project managers with the associated KPIs. And as I scroll to the right-hand side, you'll see budgeted hours versus actual hours, and then revenue and expenses. You see up top here the associated margins as well. One item I did want to mention is that just like before where we used for the trial balance account ending amount, for this scenario here, we're going to be using project ending amount. We've created functions for cost codes, so you'll have all the same functionalities you would have had for your financials for this as well. We have different examples as well, so you'll see here you'll see here for an ongoing project with the associated cost codes. We have a WIP report as well for many ongoing projects at once. And then we have the project forecast tool. So this is being able to push back your projects to Acumatica. So just like before, all you'll have to do once you click on Acumatica is just click on Import Current Worksheet, and then it's going to be pushed back to Acumatica. So that's the project segment of Velixo. The last feature I wanted to walk everyone through is generic inquiries, because I believe your team is going to heavily use this. We're seeing a huge transition with many of our organizations using the generic inquiry. So I'm going to go through an example. So let's take bills and adjustments. And you'll see here, this is just an example of a generic inquiry. All that we're going to do is going to take that inquiry title, and then we'll just bring that to life within Excel. So at this point here, I'll type equals GI. And then just like before, it's going to ask you for the connection. And then you can put the inquiry title. And then at that point, you'll see your total inquiry load. Let's make it look a little bit better. Say we're looking for vendor, status, and then let's say currency. I want to show you now how you can filter through your inquiry. So let's say for vendor, we're looking for just transit. And then for status, we're looking for open. What you're going to do at this point is create a filter, and then we're going to put that filter into the inquiry. So we'll type equals GI. Same functionalities we previously did, demo. And then we're going to take the above variables that you see. So vendor. Right. So here we've created our filter. And all you simply do is take that inquiry, and then you put it right in here. And then you've been able to filter through a specific inquiry. So we just want to show you really what is possible with the generic inquiry.